and I know some people had questions about that. So welcome everybody to Speaker Pro. I have not done this in about 4 weeks. I took the whole month of December off, so glad to be back, and glad to be back with really, really good content and really, really good people that can share this content. The objective of Speaker Pro, if you've never watched this before, is to help people that want to use speaking or are currently speakers to better enhance their business and make money doing so. So this particular segment, I'm focusing strictly on agents and those that help market agents. And the ladies we have here today are speaker agents or people that help market speakers and work directly with agents, so that if you're a speaker, you can find speaking opportunities with ease. But there are some stipulations here, and that's why we're here today. For example, I teach speakers and entrepreneurs how to find their own speaking engagements. And lots of speakers like to do that. They like looking for their own gigs, but some don't. They want a professional to help them with it so they can focus on what they're really good at. So that's what we're going to talk about here. So where do we need to be in our speaking career before we use an agent? What tools do we need to have in order to help those agents help us? Let me introduce you to the folks that we have here today, and then we're just going to dive right in. So I'm losing my voice too, Dana. I was sick for like a week. Lauren Pibworth, she is to my, am I pointing in the right direction? No, because that's Lauren. Lauren is a brand strategist and marketing consultant for Pibworth Professional Solutions. That's a full-service marketing agency specifically designed for speakers. She's a coach, an author, a professional speaker herself, and she is uniquely qualified to understand your specific needs. And she knows if you want more gigs and more money, who doesn't? She says, it's your stage. Step up and market your greatness. So welcome, Lauren. Glad to have you.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Lainey. Oh, this works. There's Lainey. Lainey down there. Lainey Sullivan and her team have 20 years of event management, speaker talent management, and overall media and event marketing experience. And her team thrives on being in the background and making their clients look like the rock stars in the foreground, the rock stars that they truly are. You can connect with Lainey at her website. So I'm sorry, Lauren, type your website in. Lainey, you can type yours in, or you have an email address that you gave me. Go ahead and type that in. Last but not least, down in the corner, Blab totally has this right there. I can't see your face, Dana. Are you still there? I wonder why we can't hear her. I'm going to introduce her anyway, because sometimes Blab lets you just come in and out. It's pretty wacky. But her intro, which I just lost. Please hold the line. I closed my document. No,
Technology
it closed on me. Yeah, it's technology. It's not. Dana's pretty cool. Dana is also a speaker's agent. She does help other speakers find speaking opportunities. I know she works directly with Lauren. They work in tandem. So that when someone needs to find those speaking opportunities, Lauren does the marketing. Dana does the searching, much like Lainey does. So, oh my God, I just totally went on for 5 minutes, way too long. So let's just dive in. And I'm going to start with Lainey. And Lauren, you're welcome to hop in if you have a response, as is Dana. Lainey,
yes,
when is a speaker or want to be speaker or entrepreneur or someone who uses speaking as their platform, when do they approach an agent, and when are you able to serve them?
Well, I think it varies depending on the person a little bit. I have people who have never spoken before who approach me to represent them and look for gigs for them. And then I have ones that have been speaking for 5 or 10 years or longer who, are looking for new representation. There's some good, amazing speakers that have been speaking for years that have been booking their own gigs. And I got to tell you, that's impressive to me when you are booking your own gigs and going and speaking, because it's a lot of work. So, is there an exact time when you should hire a speaking agent? I don't think there's an exact time. I think it really depends on where you're at in your career, what you're, are you spending more time researching than you are speaking? That to me is, if you're spending more time researching, you are now a speaking agent. You're not a speaker. So if balance your time. If you want to speak more, hire a speaking agent.
What does that speaking agent need to have when they approach you? I know you and I have talked. Should they have a speaker reel? Should they have spoken at least 3 times or 10 times or 15 times? Give me an idea of when when you would say, okay, we're ready to work together, or okay, you need to get these pieces together.
Yeah, if you really want to have a speaking career, you need to have a video reel, plain and simple, because when we submit speakers to events, they want to see what you've done. They want to see what you look like. They want to see what you sound like. Are you attractive? Are you ugly? I'm sorry. It makes a difference. What is your content?
Podcast. If you're ugly, podcast.
Podcast, exactly. What is your content? Is it relevant to the event and to the mission of the company? Oh my gosh, that was so funny. Sorry, I didn't mean to call anybody ugly. But you need to have, you need to know, what have you done, to be able to show the events that you've spoken at, the topics that you've spoken on, and come prepared with contracts and AV needs and stipends and honorarium limitations. All those things need to be, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you need to hire one of the three of us.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's jump up to Lauren. Lauren, talk to me a little bit about those pieces she's talking about. You help speakers with those pieces. Give us some more information on how you do that.
Absolutely. And I just want to jump a little bit back. We can't create the pieces until we know you're a good speaker. I can't represent you, and I can't create a brand and a marketing and all that stuff until I absolutely know that you know what you're doing, that you won't embarrass yourself or me or your agent in front of the audience.
Preach, sister.
Right? So get good. Seriously, get good at what you're doing before you start to market. Get clear on who you're talking to, what they need to hear, and what they will pay you to listen to. We need to start there.
That can be a point of contention for some speakers. They're not sure what their message is. They just want to preach and inspire. Dana, can you hear us? Are you in? I'm so sorry, because I was really looking forward to have her pop in here. I don't know what the story is, or if she's just having bad audio issues. But let's hop over to, and tell me if I'm saying this wrong, Chaim Shapiro. How do you know how to find the right agent for you? I'm going to say one sentence and then let these ladies speak. I always talk to somebody. I had a Skype session, for example, with Lainey. If I have a good vibe and I have a good relationship and I match with that person, that's how I would know. I never hire anyone or work with anyone from this point on until I have fully gotten to know them or to make sure that we're a match. So that's my response. That's what I would say. Lauren, what would you say?
Absolutely. We need to be in integrity with each other, because I can't market someone who's preaching on something that I can't get behind. That's the first place we start. Then if you're really good at what you do, great. Then I can get you whatever you want.
Lainey.
Same. I mean, I have to believe in what you're talking about. If I can't relate, if I can't understand it, if I don't like it, I mean, sometimes it's just a personal thing. But, Joleene, like you said, you and I had a conversation and we clicked. And really, how do you hire people in your business? How do you outsource to your business? It's the same thing. You still have to interview people. And I think it's an interview on both sides. It's not just you interviewing the agent, but it's also the agent interviewing you. So there's that balance. Like, you may think that you're a good fit with that agent, but that agent may not want to touch you with a 10-foot pole for whatever their reasons are. So I think an open line of communication is also really relevant to that.
Lainey, you say that's a really good point. If you recognize that you wouldn't be a good match, how do you gently tell somebody that?
I just tell them straight up. I mean, I don't hold any pun. I don't hold back. I mean, I'm polite and I'm professional, but I just tell people that we can't do it at this time. We, for whatever reason, if they're not experienced enough, they're not established enough, they're not ready for us. Sometimes we can't take on a new speaker because they're not ready to be handled. They're not ready for an agent. So
would you refer them to somebody to get the experience and to let the level that they need you to be?
Yeah. And a lot of times we'll leave them with information. This is, with instructions. You need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do this. Yeah. These are the ways that you need to prepare. I mean, we don't kick anybody to the curb and say, sorry, you got to go fend for yourself. There are ways to help each other out without, it doesn't cost me money to tell you, go do this, 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 and this. It doesn't hurt my business. It only helps you. And I think, a rising boat lifts all tides. So a rising tide lifts all boats. I just said that backwards. A rising tide lifts all boats. So, we're all working together. Everybody's trying to accomplish something. So help each other out a little bit.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I know Dana's trying to talk because every time she does, it sounds like Darth Vader. So Dana, I don't know what's off. I just want to cry. Here, click out, reboot your computer, and try to come back in. And if not, then we'll try something at a different time. Let me just scroll up. Folks in the room, /Q will type the questions in where I can see them. But I see that there's some in here, so I want to get to them real quick. Narelle says, are all you guys all agents or branding or marketing? I'm kind of confused. I know Lainey's an agent and Lauren is branding, but I'll let them talk about what they do so it's clearer.
Lauren, go ahead. I defer to you.
Okay, yeah. So you need to work with me or someone like
this is not
before
Dana's
you can actually begin to.
No, you're good now. Dana, don't move because you're in.
Okay, I'm back. And
I'm
Dana's
on my
here.
phone now.
Everybody hold your mouth exactly the way it is. Dana's here. So you need to work with a marketing professional before you can even begin with the agent stuff, because they can't represent you, they can't sell you, they can't do anything until you're clear on your message, and you need to have some place to send the people you're selling to. So you need to have a crystal clear one sheet. You need to have an awesome website. You need to have the video. You need to have all the tools in place. It's like trying to build a house without a
that's what I was saying in the beginning too. And I always forget to introduce myself when people are probably like, who's the chick putting her finger in her eye? For those of you that are wondering, I am a professional speaker. I am a blogger, and what I do is I help entrepreneurs find and create their own speaking opportunities, which this is a great contrast because everyone here helps speakers find those opportunities for them. And I had said in the beginning, when do you know to go to an agent? What tools do you have to have in place? So Lauren is telling us you got to have a 2-sheet, and some of you are going, what's a 2-sheet? Well, this is where you reach out to Lauren. You got to have a video reel. Well, how do I put that together? You've got to reach out to other speakers. What have they done to put it together? So she has these tools, and then she's able to say there's a Lainey and there's a Dana, and this is what they do. And Dana hasn't been able to have any input because she's been lost in like kind of cyberspace. So I'm going to move on to the next question. It's right here, up here, and it is Tiffany. Chicken and the egg question. Oh, it just boosted up. How do you get speaking gigs when the requirement is that you have to have prior speaking gigs? Ooh,
you don't.
Ooh, that's a great question. But I just want to jump in quick again because this is my forte. What I did, Tiffany, I had never had speaking gigs, so there's no. I would have approached any of these three ladies. They would have said, "I'm sorry, we're not ready to help you. You don't have anything." What I did is I literally reached out to Rotary clubs, to women's organizations in my neighborhood, everything in my region, and I said, "I can speak to you." And I hate saying this, but I did it for free. And the reason I hate saying it is it's time to change the industry, and all speakers need to get paid. So I would say if you're going to do talks for free, choose these rooms, do maybe 3 for free at the most, and then begin charging $50 or $100. But reach out to those organizations, reach out to those Rotary clubs, say, I am a social media expert, I can speak on X. I am a branding expert, I can speak on X. And then have someone come in the room, even if it's their iPhone, if that's all they have, to film it and shoot it and begin gathering the pieces. And that's my 2 cents. Dana, what can you offer?
Thank you. Let me add something about video, bad video versus good video. I talked with a speaker last month who had one little video reel on her website, and it must have been somebody propped the phone up, and she was like on the very far edge of it, and it was aimed directly at these 2 women who were bored out of their mind. And it was so horrible. I said, you've got to take that down, because while your message is good, nobody's hearing your message because they're focused on these 2 women that are rolling their eyes and yawning. So
Yeah.
So I mean, let me make it clear. If you bring someone, I say iPhone. iPhones can shoot great video. Find someone that can shoot great video or has the equipment. Invest in it. You know, one of the things I did, I used to be a television reporter and anchor. So I had a camera, I had a microphone, and I was in the back of the room setting all of that up, and I shot myself. And I got some, sounds weird, I got some weird looks from it, but I got my first video. So every time, I mean, I was all in. If I needed it, I went and I got it. Yeah. And Chamber of Commerce, Aver says, that's absolutely right. So I hope this answers David's question too. How would you get started as a speaker? What steps would you recommend? Let's go to you, Dana, because you haven't had a chance to dive in yet. What would you recommend?
Like you were saying, Chamber of Commerce, Rotary Club, Lions Club, Elks Club, anywhere that's going to get you on in front of 20 people. Go talk. Excuse me. My voice has been going from early this morning. So anywhere that's going to get you on, in front of 20 people, go talk. Videotape it. Get testimonials.
There she goes.
Testimonials go along. Video reel and testimonials are the two things that I like to see from my speakers. One sheet, yeah. But if you're established, you don't really need a one sheet because everybody knows who you are by now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And David, I would offer, I'll do some shameless self-promotion here. Here's my website. If you go to my website, I have 2 ebooks. They're $4 each that will give you the answers to these basic questions on how to get started. But you just get in rooms, sit down and write a talk. Go ahead, Lainey.
I was going to say, this is the opportunity when you're a new speaker, you need to practice your speaking. So, get on videos. And I know David really well, and he does really well on video. So take your message, if you're on video and you do like Joleene, right? And take it to a physical audience and practice it. Practice how you speak with your hands. On video, you don't want your hands too close because then you look like you have like ginormous hands. Right. And how do you speak in person? How is your audience taking, because on video, you don't have the audience there necessarily always to tell you how you're coming across. So you have that presence in person. So get out there, even if it's free or if it's $50 or $100, get out there and put yourself out there into these, like Liddy said, all the trades, trade organizations, the chambers, all of that. And, that's how you get started. You're not going to walk into a $5,000 gig. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
I mean, if you
but
do,
build
call
up,
me.
right? So set some goals, and say, okay, I'm going to do 6 gigs at this price. And then I want to move up to this. And then I want to move up to this. And then I want to move up to this. And what you're doing is you're establishing yourself as a qualified speaker, but you're giving yourself a lot of experience over time. Like like I said, you're not going to jump to $5,000. So start with $250, then go to $500, then go to $1,000, then go to $2,500. You can make those jumps the more experience that you have.
Dana, did you get unplugged? Because you have reverb. I don't know if your headphones became unplugged. Or no, not Lainey. Lainey, it's not Dana. It's Lainey that's reverbing.
That's weird.
Yeah, it does. I'm telling you, Blab is a crazy thing. I've had great Blabs. I've had not so great Blabs where the audio's in and out. So thanks for pointing that out. Sujit, thanks for letting people know where they can connect with you. I'd rather just, if you folks have questions, you put it in there. If any of you see anybody in the sideboard that you want to connect with, please feel free to do so. Kind of a given, but I want to make sure we stay focused on the subject. So I'm going to move forward to, Narelle has a quick question. Do any of you guys edit videos? I have lots of bits, but I need someone to pull the bits together. Lauren, you do?
Yeah.
Yes.
I do.
Or she knows somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I heard someone else say they do too.
I do not.
I don't want to jump on it, but yes, we have a team that does that.
Yeah, we have somebody who does it, but I don't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I edit my own personally, but I don't do it. For editing is it can be very gruesome and time consuming. So be prepared that when you find someone to edit your video, they're going to charge you because they spend many hours doing it, especially if you're specific about something. I think I spent $500 to have a 1-hour video edited. And it wasn't a talk, it was actually a sit-down interview, and there were photos that were added and there were CGs that were put in, so there was a lot to it. So I'm not saying that to freak you out. You can get it done for much cheaper, but you should be. Are you saying yes that Ask YV, are you an editor? Are you saying yes that you do video? That type thing. So if you do, just put it in the messaging so Narelle can see it. So let's move on to another segment. We're about 22 minutes in. We have a question that just pops up. Do you guys review speaker materials, website, one-sheets, reels, and provide advice and counsel to get them to the next level? Dana, you not
Every
first.
time.
Yeah, go for it. Talk
Of
to us
course.
about that.
Yeah, I've been called the mouth of the South. I'm very blunt in my opinions, and I preface it with everybody. I will never intentionally hurt somebody's feelings, but if you say, tell me what you think, I'm going to tell you what I think. And it's like with the speaker I was talking about earlier, she said, what do you think, what do I need to do? And I said, you need to get that video off your site. Number one, got to get it off. And if their one sheet needs help, I'll direct them to somebody that can help their one sheet. If they need help getting video in place, there's all kinds of ways to find video people that can do this. My favorite thing is to find, like here in the Detroit area, we've got a school for audio and visual. They train audio visual, like for newscasters, things like that. So if they're in the Detroit area, I say call Howard Stack. And I've told speakers to find broadcast schools in your area.
That's a good idea.
Find a student for their portfolio.
That's a really good idea, actually.
$200 or $300 and get really professional grade video because they need to build their portfolio.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Lauren?
Yeah.
Photographers.
Before I go ahead, quick video tip. If you want to pay less, watch the video, choose the clips, and let the editor know at 1.23 seconds to 1.28.
The time code. Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you do that, because
that's actually a really good
so
tip.
much.
So you basically what you're saying is look at the video, and if you like the segment that is between the time code of 1 minute and 28 seconds and 1 minute and 38 seconds, write that down and pass that on to the editor, and that saves them time from searching. Awesome.
Exactly.
That's a great tip. Awesome. I also say hire you guys in Canada because it's LA and it's 10 times the price. Huh.
You can go online on Craigslist too, and there's a lot of video. There's a lot of companies that they do trade, or they do, they're always looking for more business. So there's a lot of people that work from home that do this stuff that are really good. So there's a lot of resources. I love, I did the same thing, local colleges, and then Craigslist.
Yeah. Colleges, I forgot about that. That's a great way. I'm in Syracuse University. There are students that need that kind of thing for their reel, or they need the practice, and they'll do it for a song. So that's an awesome tip. Awesome tip. So scrolling back out, when Tiffany was asking, do you review speaker materials and so on? Lauren, that's something you do if someone approaches you? Do you look at what they have and then help them?
Absolutely. And they'll come to me either when they have nothing and they need to start from scratch, or when they're ready to reach that next level. I can't get beyond the $100 a gig mark. Mm-hmm. How do I do that? And we look at the brand and how it's been presented and stuff like that. One thing that when I put together a speaker website, I've been interviewing meeting planners for about 3 years. And so when I design a site, it's based on what the meeting planners are asking for. And we make sure the information is in the right order, what their thought processes generally are. What exactly will make it easy for them to hire you, which is the basis of all.
What do they want to see when they go on that site? Yeah.
And what drives them crazy?
What does drive them crazy?
So many people think, I'm a speaker, I'm going to have videos on every page, and I'm going to tell everyone about me on every page, and it's going to autoplay. And the meeting planners are like, oh my God, click, get out. They're just as busy as you are. Make it fast and easy, give them what they want.
And that's standard across the board. I mean, don't have pop-ups everywhere, don't have autoplay, what drives you crazy? Think about that and then turn around and apply that to your website. Take that stuff away.
Yeah. But there's certain things that I have found meeting planners telling me. So when I design a website, I design it around that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Quick question up top. And again, if you want to ask a question, /capital Q, and it'll throw it over where I can see it clearly. Otherwise, the comments go up and I miss it. But the question is, where is it? Did I go past it already? Something about men.
Oh yeah, somebody asked
Ooh, good topic.
why there are no men in the speaker agent. There are a lot of men in the speaker agent space. They just don't happen to be on this Blab today.
Well, Sujit's here.
No, I mean in the four of us.
Oh,
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I just want to say this. When I have been trying to do a Blab with agents and then another one based on speakers bureaus, and it is like pulling teeth. This one wasn't so difficult, but getting people to talk about how to become a part of a speaker bureau, no exaggeration, it has taken me months to find people. And I finally did. In 2 months, I will have that Blab. But it seems like you ladies are delivering answers that so many people are looking for. I mean, finding agents, it's not always so easy. And then when you do find them, you have to be willing to invest in what they're doing, because they're actually going out. They have the resources, they have the connections, they have the conferences, they know the people. So they're going to look at your 2-sheet. They're going to look at your reel. They're going to have conversations with you and determine if you're a good match. Lainey, talk to me a little bit about what you do when you actually talk to a speaker that approaches you, and then Dana, chime in after her.
Well, we have a conversation. You know, I collect information. I'm like, I want to see who you are, what you're talking about. So I ask people for their 1-sheets and their websites and their speaker reels. And if they don't have it, then I'm like, well, okay, that's a problem. We need to get it. But, you know, and then, you know, having a conversation. I also do a questionnaire. Every speaker that wants to talk to me, I'm like, we have a questionnaire that they fill out so I can see what they've done, what their experience is, who they want to talk to, what their topics are. So we have an entire like intake process basically. And then we pick and choose. You know, I have a conversation with everybody that's interested, and then we go through and say, you know, can we book for them? You know, what kind of events are out there? I mean, we have access to thousands of events. And, you know, and then we're like, well, do we want to? Is this speaker going to be a pain in the butt? Like, based on a conversation, I can tell whether you're going to be easy to work with and I'm going to enjoy working with you, or you're going to be a pain in my butt calling me every day going, why don't I have a gig? Why don't I have a gig? Why do I have a gig? So there's, you know, I bet you guys are the same way. You know whether somebody's going to be really great to work with, or, you know what, you're not worth the hassle.
And it
Dana?
takes some time to, it takes some time to get to know somebody, in my opinion. You know, you can't, sign somebody and then the next day, get them $10,000 in paid gigs. It takes a little bit of time to get to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and saying that's a good point. Talk to me about the process when someone does sign with an agent, and I know it's different for everyone, so a generalization, if you will. What is that process like? How long before they get their first gig?
I don't know that there's an exact time. I mean, I'm booking right now for a speaker, and we have 45 gigs that we're submitting him to literally this week. And, and unless we know that we have an in with somebody that it's a for sure, like we've got a confirmation from the meeting planner that says, yes, we specifically want this speaker. Everything is, you're competing. And that's the thing that I think a lot of new speakers don't understand at all. You are in competition with other speakers that are submitting for the same exact event. And it could be hundreds, it could be thousands. So, when do you get booked? I mean, it's all a numbers game.
Yeah, so there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee.
There's never a guarantee, yeah.
It could be tomorrow, it could be 2 weeks from now, it could be a year from now. You never know.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the question is not when I get booked, but when I get submitted.
I'll start submitting the minute I get the ink on the
right.
contract.
When do you get enough information that you can actually start the process of submitting? I
can submit as soon as I have everything. And if I don't have everything, then I go back to the speaker and say, I need X, Y, and Z information. And I don't know about you, Dana, but I mean, we run across where we think we have everything, and then some random event wants something completely off the wall that we don't have in our books. Then we've got to go back to the speaker and say, okay, they want, we need X, Y, and Z now in addition to what we already submitted.
Mm-hmm. Narelle is asking, do you find gigs in Canada and the US, or just Canada? And I'm also interested in international.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff internationally.
That's your question, Noelle. So yeah, they do it all. They're global searchers.
Global.
Of
And
events.
markets are starting to open up in Asia also.
Really? Say that again, Dana?
Asia has not been real big on having paid speakers come into their organizations in the past. They've usually relied on company hierarchy for the most part. Now they're beginning to understand, hey, there's this whole other world out there that can, bring value to our workers. I mean, they're just now starting to get TED and TEDx talks out there. So that's going to open up a whole new realm in the next year.
Yeah. And you bring up another great point is, get into a TED talk, get into a TEDx talk if you can. I mean, it's a great way to get some visibility right off the bat. I mean, everybody knows TED, everybody knows TEDx. So get into your local TEDx's and submit. And that's really great practice because that's 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, and that's it.
Yeah, that's a great way to
that makes you really practice and condense your speech down.
If anybody in the room is interested in learning how to land a TEDx talk, we did the Blab on this, I think, before I took the entire month of December off. So you can go to my website. You can actually find that on how to land a TEDx talk. So moving back to the world of Agentville, the last question I had asked, or the thing we were talking about, is there is no guarantee. So how does it work then if someone were to hire you or contract with you and they pay you a certain percentage or part of the commission? How does that work? And say they never get booked. And has that ever happened? Or maybe they get booked a few. Has that ever happened?
It happened.
I've never had anyone that we haven't booked.
Lainey, go ahead and talk.
I've never not booked anybody. So,
well, that's good. Yeah, that's good. So maybe let me reframe the question this way. Are people's expectations much different from the reality of how it works?
Yes.
Talk to me about that. What is the expectation versus the reality?
Well, I think from the get-go, I mean, if you're an experienced speaker, you know what it takes to get, there's a delay. Are you guys?
Yeah, you're frozen, but we hear you. There you go. Yeah.
Okay. So when you're an experienced speaker, you know what that the investment is worth it. Paying somebody to go and book your events and go to find and do all the research and have the relationships with the meeting planners, it's worth it. But I think the newer speakers, there's this, I think social media has made it really prevalent that I can be famous overnight. And that's not true. Mm-hmm. So you can't be Gary Vee tomorrow. I'm sorry. So there's a lot of work and it goes back to everything we've already talked about, being prepared, practicing your speeches, getting out in your local community. And then you can start getting really good paid gigs, but your talks have to be nailed down. Your marketing has to be nailed down. You have to have your branding, beautiful.
Is that your dog, lady?
No, not mine.
It's mine. I'm so sorry. I'll be right back.
No, it's all good. We all have little dogs. Mine's sound asleep next to me. Tiffany has a question, and then above her, there's a second question. Dawn has a question. So let's pop into those questions. Tiffany says, what are your fee structures? Are you on retainer or commission? I think Dana's frozen, so Lainey, why don't you answer that first?
I do both. I do retainer and commission, both. I do, and all my contracts are annual contracts.
All your contracts are annual contracts. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything I do is annual. Because it takes time to build it out.
Yeah, for sure. Dana, fee structures, are you on retainer or commission?
Retainer plus commission.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 months at a minimum.
Awesome. Dawn says, do you book mostly for businesses, schools, or other? So whoever wants to jump in.
Anybody
whatever's out there, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, if there's a preference, like I actually enjoy speaking at colleges. I think it fits my message better. So if a speaker comes to you with a preference, obviously you would cater to that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely.
Creative has a great point. She says, for actors, it takes 100 audition submissions from an agent to be booked. It's a reality check. That is an excellent point, and that totally speaks to what these ladies do, because the expectation, I think, is you sign with an agent. It's the same thing. You sign with an agent, and you expect 3 days later to get a speaking gig, and that is not the case. They've got to do their homework, and like Lainey was saying earlier, she has, and so does Dana, well, Lauren too, they have relationships with people. So if you're a good fit with that agent and your message is very clear and they say, you know what, ABC over here needs something like that, it's likely that connection or that speaking gig will happen quicker than not. Would you agree with that, ladies?
I would, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about, we're about 40 minutes in right now. We were talking earlier when we started, when do you know when it's time to go to an agent? And Lainey, you made a very valid point like 2 minutes ago, which was like a great message. When you're an experienced speaker, you know when it's time. You know that when you reach out to that agent or doing what Lauren does, doing the branding and marketing end of it, that you're ready to move up to the next level. So I would define, and I do this generically in one of my ebooks, there's the lower level speaking where you get paid between $100 and $900. This is in my head. And then there's mid-level speaking where you get paid between $1,000 and $5,000. And then there's upper level speaking where you get paid between $6,000 to $10,000 and beyond. So I would say if you're ready to move to level 2 and you're exhausted by the process of looking for them yourself and marketing yourself, that it's a good time to invest in one of you. Ladies, talk to me a little bit about what holds people back from the initial investment of working with you.
They don't either have the money or they don't want to pay the money.
And where does that leave them?
Still looking for their own gigs?
Yeah.
Stuck at level 1.
Level 1. So
it takes money to make money. We all know that, right?
We all do, but still, people will still sit there and resist and resist and resist. Because I think, like you said earlier, Lainey, there's an expectation that's attached and people expect instant gratification because there are coaches and other people out there that say, hey, this can happen in 5 days or less. Mm-hmm. And that's not necessarily the case. Dawn says, what's the best way to contact an agent? Well, there's 2 right here. So, ladies, what would you tell Dawn?
We can put our websites and email information in.
Yes, please do. And I'm just being playful, Dawn. But yeah, I mean, I guess maybe what she's asking is, would you call first or would you email first? I'll tell you, I met both of these ladies, Dana and Lainey. I think it was in, was it the National Speakers Association Facebook group?
I think so.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then Dana connected me with Lauren. So I think I reached out to Lainey with an email and we ended up on a Skype session. Mm-hmm. So there you go. There's some, if we don't have money, where can we get it?
I think it grows on trees, doesn't it?
I'm going to say your name wrong and forgive me. Is it Suji or Sujit? I'm so sorry. People butcher mine. I'm going to tell you something. When I hired my first business coach was a $20,000 investment. And I had only made $13,000 that year. So I had a decision to make. I had to incorporate what they were teaching me and make the money because nobody has, most of the time, $20,000 or $30,000 sitting in their bank account. And if they do, then they don't need a speaker's agent or they don't need a business coach. So I would say to you that it's a risk. And when we're in business for ourselves, we have to take that risk. And there's a level of trust. And I don't know if you would agree with me, any of you.
Oh, yeah.
Suji.
Absolutely. Especially if you're just starting out, you have to decide that this is going to be a business. This isn't just something you're doing for fun. Are you going to put your heart and soul and money behind your business or not? Yeah,
so Sujit, if you're asking, I mean, I know there's people that they will go out and take a loan or they will use all sorts of different funding to fund their business. But a lot of, yes, trust the person you hire. A lot of people that do what we're doing, which is we have online businesses, essentially. We don't have a storefront. We work by networking. We work by doing things like this. I have invested many times, I can't tell you how many times, when I didn't have a dime in the bank because I knew in order for me to recoup that investment, I had to take action. So the interesting part about that question is it's not necessarily people being worried about having the money. I think it's people not trusting themselves to incorporate or take actions. So if it's something that you think you want to do, have conversations. It's a vicious cycle. Everyone promises to make you the money if you just follow these steps. But when you invest, nothing works multiple times, you end up broke. That's right. It's about trust. I agree with you. but it's also about taking actions. If I had invested with my coach at that $20,000 level and never did anything he told me, I'd be broke. If that man told me to run across the street naked, I would do it. Not really. But if I knew that it was going to serve my business, if I were working with Lauren and Lauren said to me, you need to change this on your 2-sheet, and I sat on my butt and I didn't do it. If she said, you need to do A, B, and C, and I sat on my butt and I didn't do it, then naturally I wouldn't. So it may be for you, maybe not connecting with the right person, Suji, or maybe not having that initial level of trust or the initial conversation where you know, okay, I'm ready to invest with this person. I'll have 2 or 3 conversations with someone before I invest with them because I've made the mistake where I have just dove in. I'm the idiot that trusts people. I leave my keys in the ignition of my car. So I have learned to have more than one conversation. So
absolutely.
Do any of you want to add to that?
And I think it's important to remember to get testimonials, get referrals. Ask to physically speak to people who are working with you. I will refer current clients, past clients, as long as I have their permission. And go ahead, talk. Are you happy with my service level? Have you seen an increase in business? What is your ROI? And once they talk to those people, they sign the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Lainey, anything?
Yeah, I agree. And then I was gonna say, it's a team effort. I mean, you as a speaker and we as the agent, I mean, we want you to win. So we're going to do everything in our power to get you speaking gigs, but we need you to do everything in your power to put on the best show, put on the best front, put on the best face, everything. I mean, that's a big thing. And I think that you're not just hiring us. You're not just hiring us to do a job. We are both working together to get you on stage. And we like being off stage and we want you on stage. So, and we only get paid if you get on stage.
I mean, that's a great point. They're not getting, I mean, I know you have a retainer and that makes perfect sense. People are hiring you, but you're not going to get that additional cash from the contracts if you don't book people. Right. It's like, that's great. Dana, did you want to add? No? Well, thanks for coming. We love you.
There's a delay.
Dawn has a quick question. Do you book both? Oh no, I already answered that one. Are your contracts exclusive? I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, mine is. And you can't go hire another speaker agent.
Oh, okay.
If you're working with me. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
Cool. And then Morgan has a question too. How much outreach do you all do to get your speaking engagements? I mean, we're in it every day. So, I mean, it's constant. It's daily.
What does that outreach look like? You talk to meeting planners. You talk to us about that.
Well, we have a bunch of different resources that we use to locate events, right? We don't have to do cold calling. We don't dial for dollars over here. So no. So we have relationships with meeting planners. We have a whole host of resources online that we pay for access to. And then, we get the random, I've got a ton of just random connections that we have that I use for speaking engagements too. So it's across the board, everything.
I hope that answers your question. So we're about 15 minutes from being done here. Is there anything at this point that you want to add, something I should have asked you, a point you want to make and we didn't get into? Anything you want to put out there that you think is important?
I think we covered a lot of it. I mean, we pretty much. Yeah, I feel like we covered it all. It's like if you're not willing to invest the money, then you're not going to hire any of us. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're really not. I mean, if you aren't willing to invest the money, your speaking career is going to be all about everything that you're capable of doing yourself, and you'll be limited by what you're able to do.
Mm-hmm. Lauren, when someone reaches out to you, how do you connect them with an agent? What pieces do you do and then they move forward to you?
We usually we make sure the brand is right. I make sure that their talks are clean and they're presenting themselves well. I also would do the website, the social media, like look at the entire marketing and make sure that it's doing what we need it to do. And when we get to the point where they say, okay, there's nothing really left to do except let's go get the gigs. That's when I would send them to a Dana or a Lanny and we work as a partnership because there's always tweaks that needs to be made and there's new video being created and everything else. So we make sure that we're all a team.
Mm-hmm. What are and this is a broad question. You could throw things at the screen when I ask this, but the industry changes. What would you say is the hot topic that people are looking for now? And I recognize you cater to many different, business conferences, things like that. But in the world of business conferences, what's hot now? Yeah, I told you you'd throw stuff at my screen.
I don't know. I've looked at so many events lately. I couldn't tell you what's like the hottest thing because my.
You know what I ask is I had a conversation with a very reputable speaker. Spent an hour on the phone with him, and I asked this question of him, and he said to me, "If you're not talking about something that's trending as far as social media or building a business, they're not going to choose you." And I said, "Are you telling me then that if there's a speaker out there that speaks more," and I know that most speakers inject motivation and inspiration into what they do. Are you telling me that if it's not business related at all, that they're not going to get gigs? And he said, yes, but I disagree with that.
I don't agree. I mean,
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. There's, I don't know, Dana, what do you, for us, I'm like, I don't really run with trending. We look at what
people here are disagreeing too. Good.
Yeah. We run with what our speakers are catering to and what the events are looking for. So we're not looking at what's necessarily trending. I mean, we definitely want our speakers to be relevant, but, and I think somebody said it, trending is, it's in the moment.
Short term. Yeah.
It's totally short term. It doesn't mean
it
so
changes.
If your message should be a long-term message, not a short-term, hit it and quit it kind of a message.
Yeah, I think what he was saying too, and someone just asked me what were they talking about, is he was trying to say that those that don't have a business-related message don't have a space to speak. And I couldn't disagree more because I've been in that space. I've been there where not a word that came out of my mouth had to do with social media or, online businesses or anything like that. So, idiot him. And the guy's making like millions. And this is a valid point. This is what I want to say. This is what happens. Like when I have these kinds of blabs, the one thing I always preface at the beginning is there's no right answers and there's no wrong answers and no one has all the answers because everybody has their niche and knows what they know. And when I was talking to him, it was very clear that he believed, I think ego played a role, that he had all the answers. And what happens is other people, and this may be what the gentleman earlier was talking about, other people take that for gospel and they run with it and then they change their message and then their message is disingenuous. It's not authentic and then they lose their voice and then they end up on a stage. And this happened to me and I bombed a talk because of it. I bombed a talk miserably. Totally went off subject. Wasn't me at all. Attempted to fit the room and I'll tell you that room hated me. So don't go off your topic. Stay with what's authentic to you. Why should someone speak on a topic that they have no freaking clue? Well, Dana, because I tried to please a crowd.
And that's
Bottom line, if you're an expert, be an expert. You can change how you deliver. You can change your stories. You can change all kinds of things within your talk. But when you hire me, I'm going to talk to you about how to get gigs and make more money.
Exactly.
Period.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's funny. I mean, not what you said, but over here on the side, they're like, yeah, agree. And it's the same thing with blogging. If you're not going to use your authentic voice and speak about what you're passionate about, it's completely pointless. And you can tell those speakers from a mile away when they're on the stage and they're preaching something that isn't authentic or has nothing to do with them. You don't buy it. You don't feel it. And that's important to you, to all of you as agents and marketers, because you need to know that the speaker that is in front of you is going to deliver authentically.
Yeah. And I mean, all of this goes back to our interview process. And who are you? Can we stand behind it? Can we promote you? Because if you make us look bad, we're dropping you like a hot potato.
That's a great point. So,
and it's not just the agent. Sorry, Julie. It's not just the agent who's going to drop you. It's going to be the marketing agency. Because ultimately, if my name is on that, you're on my testimonial. People are talking to. If you're just all over the place, stop it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, technology is not my friend today. I know, Dana. Lainey, if it isn't a win-win, it's a lose-lose, lose-loss. Yeah, that's a true story.
Yeah.
So we've got about 8 minutes left, so I'll ask the same question I did at halftime. Is there anything I should have asked you, a point you want to make, or something you want to add, or does anyone else have any final questions? Because I think we hit every single corner and flushed this out pretty thoroughly.
Yeah, I think we covered it, Lauren.
Well, then we're leaving. If no one has any other questions, can you please, and Dana, if you can hear me, type in your email address or your website. This has not been fun, she says. We love you. Type in your website so that if anybody in the room wants to reach out to you, I know some of the ladies have asked how they can get in touch with you. Some of the gentlemen too, I'm sorry. Excellent info. I'm glad, and thank you for joining us. And there will be a replay of this. You can go to my website. You can go directly back to this link and find the replay. And next, I don't do this weekly anymore. 2 weeks from now. See, Dana, I'm dying too. We'll be talking about speakers' bureaus and how they serve you. So I hope this helped you. I want to thank you, Lauren and Dana and Lainey. No, don't die, I know. For all of the wonderful information. Please take this information. Please reach out to these ladies and please connect with everyone in the room. Thank you very much for joining Speaker Blab, and I hope to see you in 2 weeks. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye, everyone. Thank you.